Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Macon-Bibb County Commission meeting. This is our pre-commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, July the 15th, and the time is 4:30. First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone here today. We have many items on our agenda. Of course, our regularly scheduled meeting is going to be at 6 o'clock, and we may take a pause between meetings for that. We will have a need to go into executive session to discuss some matters, so we'll take a break at that time and come back with a couple of items possibly to vote on. So the first item on the business today is going to be the approval of the minutes. This is the approval of the minutes from the June the 17th, 2025 pre-commission meeting. That's my motion. Can I get a second? Second by Commissioner Stewart. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. We have 3 alcohol licenses to take care of next. The first is going to be the Georgia Family Alliance, Inc., which is 2920 Houston Avenue, Macon, Georgia 31206. You can see that area there. And that motion comes to us from a recommendation from legal counsel to approve. They have met all the legal and statutory requirements to do so. This is a private club, and they have completed the certificate of good standing. So at this time, we'd entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Commissioner Howell. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Bryant. Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That's one of Commissioner Stewart, so that motion passes. We will send that to the consent agenda. Item B is Murphy Express, number 8519, located at 1402 Gray Highway, Macon, Georgia 31211. You can see pictures of that. That's an established business, and the legal does recommend approval. They met all the legal statutory requirements to do so, and they have met a certificate of good standing. So at this time, I'll make a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Bryant. I'm getting used to that voice there. We got a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously to be sent to consent agenda. The final is the Social Duck. That's 476 2nd Street, Macon, Georgia. We are all familiar with that area there, and they have some new skills that you can participate in too, so we hope that it'll be very successful. They do meet all the legal and statutory requirements for their alcohol license, and legal does recommend approval, including their certificate of good standing, saying that all taxes have been paid. So this time we get a recommendation for approval. Motion by Commissioner Bailey. We have a second. Second by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Going to move on to appointments, authorities, boards, and committees. We do have several of these. We're playing catch up. As you recall, I sent many of you emails for recommendations for certain boards. We're going to do some this time, and we'll do some at the next couple of meetings as well. Some of these are reappointments, so it's not necessary for them to be here, but there's some other folks that may be here tonight, and that is fine as well. So item 4A is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission reappointing Dr. Sundra Woodford to the Macon-Bibb County Land Bank Authority Board of Directors. It's been our policy, at least since I've been here, to appoint someone from the school system as a representative to that board, because we share in a lot of those funds and properties that we have. They go to their tax base and our tax base. So Dr. Woodford has done a good job on there, and I'd like to recommend her for appointment. Can I get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Howell, second by Commissioner Mayor Pro Tem Clark and others. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item 4B is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission reappointing Judge Sarah Harris and Ms. Andrea Cook to the Region 2 Department of Behavioral Health and Development of Disabilities Advisory Boards. Those were requested specifically for us to appoint them. That's a great state agency. That's an advisory board that we're very supportive of, and I think we may have 1 or 2 more appointments coming out of Macon-Bibb County that need to be resolved there. So this time I entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Commissioner Bailey, second by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. All those in favor of the board, motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Moving right along to item C, which is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission reappointing some gentleman named Seth Clark to the Board of Directors for Visit Macon. And of course, Commissioner Joey Hewitt would like to co-sponsor that as well. So I'll take that as a motion to approve by Commissioner Joe Hewitt. I have a second. Second by Mr. Raymond Wilder. He declined. Okay. So we got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item D is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission reappointing Ms. Elaine Lucas to the Central Georgia Development Authority. Ms. Lucas has served well on that board and continues to do a good job. This appointment is necessary because they must have training, and now's the time to do it as well. It's also a co-sponsor, Mr. Joey Hewitt. So I'll take Mr. Hewitt as a sponsor to that motion. Do we have a second? Second by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item E is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission reappointing Mr. Raymond Wilder, Commissioner, to be a member of the Macon Fire and Police Retirement Board of Trustees. Also sponsored by Commissioner Joey Hewitt. Mr. Wilder served our community well on this board. I know he puts in a lot of time on that board, and they've taken care of some great issues for us. So at this time, we have a motion by Commissioner Hewitt. We have a second? Second by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. The motion carries unanimously, be sent to consent agenda. Item F is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission reappointing Ms. Nancy White and Yamikia Head to the Bibb County Department of Family and Children's Services. Can I get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Bailey. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Bronson. We have a motion and second. I'm sorry. Did I call you? Did I call you Johnson? Bronson. Where's Paul at anyway, by the way? I know. I heard over there and I saw Stanley and I called him Paul. Well, sometimes we'll see. So we have a second by Commissioner Stewart. Sorry about that. We have a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item G is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission reappointing Kay Bellevue and Theron Usry to serve as members of the Macon-Bibb County SPOS Advisory Committee. It's also co-sponsored by Commissioner Joey Hewitt. Can I get a motion to approve? A motion by Commissioner Howell. We have a second. Second by Commissioner Wilder. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and be sent to consent agenda. All right, we got the easy stuff out of the way. Let's move on to agreements. Item 5A is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with BTBB for the provision of a building feasibility study for the radio shop and for architectural services for the Public Works building renovations in an amount of $50,000 to be paid from the 2018 SPOS Fund, Public Safety Other. This, I understand, is going to be over by Public Works on Knight Road, and it's something that we don't have that we certainly need. So at this time, we'd entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Commissioner Bailey. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Howell. Any questions regarding that item? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Attorney McNeil, would you mind coming up and doing just a brief presentation on this next item? This is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission agreeing to participate in a national Sandoz opioid settlement. If I mispronounced that, please correct me. That'll be my motion, but I'll go ahead and hear from the council prior to doing so.
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Michael McNeil. I'm Chief Assistant County Attorney. And this is, as y'all are aware, we've been participants in the multi-district litigation alleging basically systematic efforts by manufacturers and sellers of prescription opioids since the 90s to basically give people more pills than they need and get them hooked, and that's caused sort of systemic harms across our community for decades now. And so we are part of, we're some of many local jurisdictions and state governments that have joined in a major federal lawsuit that's consolidated in federal court in Ohio. And one of those defendants is a company named Sandoz. Sandoz is a manufacturer of generic pills. And so once a pill has been on the market for enough time that's generic, then they pick up that formula and they start making and selling their own. And so they've agreed to what they're calling a settlement in principle. This is a document where they are agreeing to create a fund of $99.5 million that will be divided by a court-appointed referee among all the local governments that choose to participate in this settlement. So right now, we don't know what the fund allocation to Macon-Bibb County will be, but essentially, this is the most effective and sure way that we're going to get anything out of this one particular defendant. And so that's why our recommendation is for the county to participate in the settlement. There's an agreement that we would have the mayor sign opting into the settlement. That's due by the end of September. And if at least 85% of the eligible governments opt in, then the settlement will go forward. And sometime in calendar year 2026, we will get a check deposited in our account. We may not necessarily even know when it's coming, but we'll just have some money show up that we can then use to help abate the opioid epidemic and its effects. So that's sort of the summary. It's tough saying we need to settle a case and we don't know how much we're going to get, but I can say something's better than nothing, and so that's the basis of my recommendation.
Thank you, Attorney McNeil. Commissioner Stewart, you have a question or follow-up?
Yeah, Attorney McNeil, basically class action lawsuit taking place in Ohio. How do you foresee the allocation of those funds coming once we receive the funds? How do you see it being broken down here in Macon-Bibb?
So the federal district court has issued a guidance document basically saying it kind of works like a grant, except the reporting isn't as strenuous as a grant when we get from like the federal executive branch. But the court has issued a guidance document essentially saying that any money we get from these settlements has to be spent on mitigating the effects of the opioid epidemic. We have received some money from settlements with some retailers, for example, CVS and the Kroger Company. We're working through settlements with the Sackler family and Purdue Pharma. They're the biggest kind of players in this. Basically, there's like a 30-page document they've sent out, and it describes, you can use it for things like addiction counseling and treatment, for like public information campaigns, for medical outreach efforts, just putting Narcan in different places in public. There's a lot of different options, but basically anything that has sort of a nexus or a thread back to specifically opioid addiction issues.
I toured the Drug Enforcement Agency about 2 or 3 years ago up in D.C., and Narcan was one of the biggest things they talked about. So partnering with maybe hospitals also who provide treatment for that, perhaps?
Yeah. If you have a specific use in mind, we can talk about allocating some of the funds that we've received towards that. But essentially, it's very broad in terms of the ways you can spend the money, except that there is a common thread where it all has to kind of tie back somehow to opioid use or addiction or misuse.
I got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Commissioner. I know we've received approximately $1.6 million is roughly the amount of money we've received already. Some of those uses include some treatment for those that may be experiencing homelessness at the Brookdale Resource Center, those that are recently incarcerated that are back on the street but need case management and things of that nature. And we've received a couple of proposals from outside agencies seeking funds. So we'll look at each of those particular settlements to see what qualifications they may have, to see what's more appropriate, and they'll bring that before the commissions. So this time, we do need a motion to approve this recommendation. Can I get one?
Move.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Bailey. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously, be sent to consent agenda.
Thank you, Mayor.
This next item is a IT item that's going to be spread out over 3 years. We're voting on the total funds today, but keep in mind one-third was something that's going to be allocated. This is a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to execute an installment agreement with Dale Financial Services in a total amount of $2,360,463.21, payable over 3 years for countywide Microsoft Windows Server Office Suite Enterprise software licenses to be paid from the IT budget infrastructure software and licenses line item. That's approximately just under $800,000 per year for that. So at this time, we'd entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Bailey. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries, will be sent to the consent agenda. Commissioners, the next couple of items are what we sometimes call sure-ups. This is the end of last year going into this year for items that are left to be paid, and we'll sometimes adjust the appropriate budget to take care of those items to make sure that we end up being able to pay for everything in the last fiscal cycle. So if you look at item 6A, this is an ordinance of Macon-Bibb County Commission to authorize a budget transfer. So this is money we budgeted last year, but we're transferring from one item to the other item to make sure that the budgetary needs are met within that department for fiscal year 2025. The amount is $46,000, and it was used to provide vehicle maintenance services for that department. So this time, I entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Carter. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Howell. Commissioner Bryant, did you have a question?
Yes, I wanted to know, they're transferring it from parks and beautifications. Is that because they?
It's within that department, so they already have it in their budget, but it was in one line item moving to another line item.
That's their maintenance?
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We do have a motion and a second. Any further questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries. Same type of situation, item B, this is the ordinance of Macon-Bibb County Commission to approve a supplemental appropriation from the general fund balance in the amount of $86,700 to provide for lifeguard services at Lake Tobisoffke during fiscal year 2025 that's already passed. Commissioner Hewitt, it has to be a co-sponsor of that. I'll take that as a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Wilder, who shares that district out there. Any questions regarding that item? Commissioner Bryant?
Yes, have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How many lifeguards do they have, and is that year-round?
It's not year-round, and this is for last year, so I'm not sure how many they had for that time. So this is shoring up that situation there.
So when you say last year, is it going for this year also?
No, ma'am. That's last year. This is last year. We're tightening up that budget from last year to make sure that we met all the obligations that was in their budget by moving from one line item to the other line item. We contract a lot of those services out for lifeguards there through a private company, and a lot of times we don't know what the bill is going to be until after we receive all the bills in. So this is basically shoring up that process in our budget. But thank you. We do have a motion and a second. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Sorry.
With lifeguards, all the other.
According to Parks and Recreation, they have covered all those. Of course, lifeguards can be challenging, as far as getting them in to meet the needs of our citizens, but I haven't had any requests from Robert Walker indicating that we have a shortage of that. Of course, we generally do this from Memorial Day to Labor Day, so we're still within that time window there for the swimming, but we didn't see the drastic shortage that we had the previous years. I think part of it is because we were able to do some in-house training, but also do some third-party contracting. Okay, any other questions? And we do have a motion and a second? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. The final item in that category is the ordinance of Macon-Bibb County Commission to authorize the appropriation from the 2018 SPLOST interest to be allocated in authorized projects as specified herein, to authorize the mayor to declare certain 2018 SPLOST projects substantially completed. This is finally wrapping up our 2018. As you know, we've been making sure that we do each projects within the categories. That's why you see a lot of the recreation centers getting their work, getting everything complete. That's why we're wrapping up the courthouse and other things that we're doing. So as we get down to the end of this money, there'll be a few pieces at each place that may be over or short, and this just gives us the ability to do what the voters asked us to do, to pay those bills and also to reappropriate funds to debts and other things that were included. So this time we'd entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Howell. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously to be sent to consent agenda. Item 7A concerns some festival called the Bragg Jam that you may have heard of. It's a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing Bragg Jam, Inc., a nonprofit organization, to hold its 2025 concert crawl in downtown Macon between the hours of 5 p.m. on Friday, July 25th, and 3 o'clock p.m. on Sunday, July 27th, to permit festival goers to carry and consume alcohol beverages in and about the designated streets of downtown Macon, to require Bragg Jam, Inc. to provide for and reimburse Macon-Bibb County for all expenses incurred for security and cleanup. That is sponsored by Commissioner Joey Hewitt as well. Can I get a motion to approve? You got to get a second? All right, I'll let Ms. Ross figure out who made the first and second on that. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously to be sent to consent agenda, and we hope to see everyone there. We do have change orders, as it's labeled here. Item 8A, this is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission to approve a change order in the amount of $35,000 to purchase order for Triple Point Engineering to be paid from the solid waste landfill repairs and maintenance for gas wells and tank line items. This is in process of continuing to close our landfill, which we're very close on there. We have to do these change orders as things pop up from the Environmental Protection Divisions, and as they do, we address those in this manner. So this is money that we already have that we're moving around to pay for this new task that we have. So at this time, we'd entertain a motion to approve the change order. Motion by Commissioner Bailey. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Howell, who's very excited about making that motion. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries to be sent to consent agenda. We have several grants online tonight. The first one being a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the acceptance of a Council of Accountability Courts Judges State of Georgia Grant Award from the State of Criminal Justice Coordinating Council for fiscal year 2026. So this is accepting the grant for 2026. The amount of this grant is $153,520. The match of $27,092 is payable as in-kind based on our employee salaries. So we don't put any money in, but we use our employee salary as a match to this grant, so we don't have anything to be out of pocket there. This is for the Macon Judicial Circuit Family Treatment Family Drug Court Program. That's a lot to say. Each of these items that we're talking about are the similar matches where we pay the employee salary. That's considered a match for the program, and we get the money from the funds. So at this time, we'd entertain a motion to approve that program and that match. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark, second by Commissioner Bailey. Any other questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item B is another grant for the resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the acceptance of the Accountability Courts State of Georgia Award. This time the amount is $197,713 with matching funds in amount of $34,891 payable in kind as existing employee salaries awarded to the Macon-Bibb County Circuit Adult Felony Drug Court Program. In the same manner we talked about before, we're using the salary that we pay as a match for that program, and we'll get the rest of the money as well. So this time we'd entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Commissioner Bryant. I got it. We have a second? Second by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Thank you for coming in there at the end. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item C is the ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to adopt the Economic and Community Development Department ESG Home and CDB proposed budget. That's a lot of information. I know Ms. Wanzina Jackson is here tonight, and I want to ask her to come forward to present this budget to you. And typically, those of you that have been here a while have been through this several times, but for the new folks, all those things we've been voting on in the last several months, it came out of this particular event that we're having tonight. She lays out her budget for us to go through and to approve, and then as things come in and get awarded, we'll be voting on those items each and every time, and she's graciously agreed to come every time we have questions, so we appreciate you being here tonight. And we did some time to handle this tonight, so feel free to go in depth if you need to, but brevity is always appreciated as well. So I'll turn it over to you if you identify yourself and your job so the people at home will know who you are. We know who you are, and you can go ahead and begin your presentation.
Good afternoon. I'm Wanzina Jackson. I am the Director for Economic and Community Development for Macon-Bibb County. So tonight we do have a brief presentation just to give an overview with regards to the information that has been included in the resolution. If it does not come up, we're just going to keep on moving. So as a part of the presentation that I have before you tonight is that the purpose of the Economic and Community Development Program. With regards to the Economic and Community Development Program, with these funds, they are funds that are allocated from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Through this, it is a formula grant that's provided to several communities across the nation. These funds are provided to us to help improve the quality of life for Macon-Bibb County citizens. And with this, looking at the primary programs as far as housing, social service types of things, as well as economic development. As we move forward, the funding sources that we will talk about tonight are the Emergency Solutions Grant Funds, the Home Investment Partnership Funds, as well as Community Development Block Grant Funds. With Emergency Solutions Grants Funds, these are funds that are utilized for services for those individuals that are in jeopardy of becoming homeless or are actually considered to be literally homeless. As a part of those particular funds, these are funds that have come into our community in the amount of $161,937. Of that, we can only spend 7.5% of that on administrative services. The other amount that we are looking at is for the emergency shelter portion, approximately $48,395. For homeless prevention, and this is for those individuals that are in jeopardy of being evicted from their particular location, those funds, $71,397. For rapid rehousing, and this is those individuals that are actually considered to be literally homeless, approximately $10,000, and then also street outreach for those individuals that may be out living on the street and providing different types of services as far as the street outreach is concerned. So here we've shown what that income is looking to be from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and we've also shown those expenses as $161,937. The next program we'll talk about is the Home Investment Partnership Program. With the Home Investment Partnership Program, again, this is an allocation as far as a formula grant, but with these funds, it's specifically for housing-related projects. That could be anything from new construction as well as rehabilitation with regards to these particular funds to provide services for low to moderate income individuals within Macon-Bibb County. This year, the proposed amount that is being provided from the federal government is $824,156.75. Of that, we have had some programs over the year that are providing program income. So we have approximately $125,000 that we anticipate. The other part is that one of the requirements to receive these funds is that we receive a match from the local government that was proposed as a part of the general funds, and that's $103 and $103,020 as far as that amount. So the total revenue for this particular program for this year would be a little bit over $1 million. So that would be $1 million, $52,176.75. So taking into consideration some of the requirements with regards to these funds, we have a minimum of 15% that must be provided to community housing development organizations. That's where that $123,623.75 comes in. These are organizations that actually provide housing within our community. We're also looking at developer projects. This is, again, either rehabilitation or housing services as far as new construction. That would be $733,638, and then possibly some down payment assistance for those individuals that are low to moderate income and seeking housing. That would be $100,000 as far as to assist with down payment assistance for home ownership. In this particular grant, the maximum amount that we can spend toward administrative and planning is 10%. So that's a total of $94,915 that can be actually allocated for administrative services. And that then comes up to that $1,052,176.75 with regards to these particular funds. And this is what the proposal that we have for this one. The last funding source that we will be presenting to you tonight is actually the Community Development Block Grant Funds. This is the one that most people apply for and most people hear about. With regards to the Community Development Block Grant Funds, again, this is a formula allocation through the Department of Housing and Urban Development for low to moderate income individuals. We can only spend 15% of our total allocation toward those social service types of projects as far as the community is concerned, but we can only spend 20% toward the administrative cost as well with regards to this particular grant. And with this grant is to provide the decent housing through rehabilitation, as well as a suitable living environment, as well as to expand economic development opportunities. With this particular one, we anticipate that we will be receiving $1,834,622 as far as this particular funds in the entitlement fund. We do receive some income in, so that'll be $85,000 going toward this, and then general funds in the amount of $17,450. With this, again, we can only do the 20% as far as the planning and administration. That's for 401,374. Then we also have some project delivery costs as far as our housing program, which is $550,141. We also have small business development as well as economic development, which is about $5,000. Then we have the economic development rehabilitation program with all of our minor home repair. This one is $425,364. And then there's also some public facility and infrastructure projects such as parks and things of that nature. That's $50,000. With regards to that, we also will move into our projects. For our proposed public service projects, so everything else that was listed on there is actually broken out more in the next two slides. These are the public service organizations that we are recommending for funding for this year. What happens is with all of our funds is actually an application process depending upon the funding source. There are different times a year that agencies can actually apply to us. For this year, the recommendations with regards to the review committee are Big Brothers Big Sisters in the amount of $36,750. Crisis Line and Safe House, $50,624. Family Counseling of Central Georgia for $31,121. For Family Choice Primary Care, $66,098. For Home First Housing Resource Services, $45,400. For Mentors Project Program, $15,000. And then for United Way of Central Georgia for their Brookdale facility, $30,200. For a total of that 15%, which is $275,193. So these are the proposed public service activities. We also have some proposed rehabilitation activities. So for Rebuilding Macon with their volunteer youth program where they provide minor home repairs, $70,000. For Rebuilding Macon for their minor home repair, $160,000. We also have some applications that were not approved for recommended for funding for this year. We have Family Advancement Ministries, First T, Operation Slay Cancer, Shalom Corp, Society of St. Andrews, and Upward Care Incorporated. So these are the agencies that were not recommended for funding for this particular year. Are there any questions at this time?
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. And I think the amount of funding has decreased, is that correct, year over year?
So it's actually fluctuated the last few years. So it's gone up and down.
All right. And these, we have many of the vendors today. So first of all, anybody's name that was mentioned on here as far as a recipient, if you don't mind standing up. I know I see many of you in the room, so we can remind ourselves of the great people we're surrounded by. We appreciate you being here tonight and listening to this presentation. You can be seated now, but we appreciate you being here. I know that we've had some challenges on the national right now about particularly home and CDBG and all these funds there now. So I wanted to kind of get a little update on that, but as well as know that some of these folks probably, just give me a couple of reasons that some of the people wouldn't be funded that may have been on the list and not get money this year.
So with regards to the ones that are on the list for this year, one of the things is we get an overwhelming number of applications for this particular funding source, and the majority of them are for the public service portion. Well, we only receive a very small portion with regards to the public services. Some of the ones for this year as to why they were not funded, just looking at the pool of applications for this year, there was one that for what they were requesting, it was not something that was eligible as far as this particular funding source. There has also been another one, it was some information that was needed to clarify what they were seeking. So those are some of the reasons why these were not actually funded, on top of not having enough money to fund all the agencies that were requested.
Right. And that's a particular request they may have, that category, all the funding had been used up. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Clark, you have a follow-up?
It's similar to the reference that the mayor made to the problems that communities are facing with national funding. My understanding is that in the reconciliation process, that funding was basically flat for FY25, but for FY26, we're looking at these incredible programs that need to be funded, but a potential 45% cut to HUD's overall budget. And a zeroing out, as I understanding, as proposed, of the CDBG program and the home program too. What do we do? I mean, if that's, what do we do?
Well, that's a good question. We look for other opportunities and contact our folks in those seats and make sure they remember who we are and what our needs are. So certainly, I think being advocates for those issues are going to be something that's going to be important, and we continue to do that. And of course, I think everybody sitting around this horseshoe will continue to do that. But things change. It's very fluid right now, and of course in Washington. And one day you hear one thing, one day you hear the other. I say don't panic, but always be steadfast and continue to advocate. And that's really the only advice we can offer right now. We're excited about the people we are able to give money to. And of course, the better our community does, a lot of times the funding does get cut. It's just a sign of what the good things we got going on. So I appreciate the question. I think that's really what we can offer at this time. A couple more brief questions. Commissioner Bell, would you have a follow-up?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. For those citizens that may not be familiar with that block grant, could you give us some information on where those citizens can go to get support applying for those particular grants? And also, can you also tell us about the beginning of that grant, when the next cycle of applications will be available and where it will be available?
So basically, she's asking, how do you communicate that to people who are interested in getting this money? This is a question I typically get from Commissioner Wynn. So Ms. Bailey is carrying the torch on that one tonight. So if you don't mind just hitting real briefly on how that's communicated to people that may need or seek this money, and when the process starts again for the next year, what's the time frame on that?
So the time frame is we normally do applications for community development block grant funds at the end of October, beginning of November. In some years, it's been almost to the date that we have the same workshop. We advertise in the local paper, as well as we do email blast with regards to that information as to when the application will be due. As a part of that funding, we have a funding workshop that everyone's required to come to so that we can talk through how the application works. In the past, we've also had some agencies that have worked with grant writers to assist them as far as putting their grants together, as well as we've also, for some services that have not cost, sometimes the library has grant writing classes as well as other local organizations.
Okay. Appreciate that response. Commissioner Stewart, you have a follow-up, sir?
Yeah, really just a comment, to piggyback on what Commissioner Clark was saying, what do we do? And what we do, first of all, thank you for what you do. And secondly, thank the individuals who are assembled here today. When you see the individuals' faces and the organizations who are dedicated to this community time and time again. I'm an old athlete, baseball player. Mr. Mayor, you play baseball. You win with what you got. And we got a good team assembled here, and we thank you all for what you do.
Thank you, Commissioner Stewart. So this time, you've heard the presentation. You've had an opportunity to ask your questions, and we'd ask for a motion to approve. Can I get a motion?
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Bailey. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Commissioner Clark, you had a follow-up, sir?
One more question just about the timeline. If the FY26 budget, or when it passes, it will eventually, it could be next year. I mean, but eventually, I believe that they have a pretty hard deadline of September 30th. Let's not do worst case scenario, let's just presume that there will be some sort of functional decrease in funding. Are we, as the administration, preparing to bring forth reallocations or reappropriations at that time to fund these programs? Are we looking for, I mean, I don't need a yes or no, I guess, right now, but I would just, wonder if we're preparing with the federal timeline, because it does seem like, despite the headlines, that Congress is relatively productive at passing budget measures these days.
So we're actually behind the actual budget. So that budget is approved in October. Our fiscal year starts July 1. So we would not actually have any type of knowledge as to what that would be until July 1. So what we're talking about today was as of the appropriation of October 2024.
That makes sense. So we are the September 30th deadline, as I understand it, will not rescind the funding that we're appropriating today based on shortages of the next fiscal year.
Correct. That
Okay.
has not been
Thank
expressed.
you so much.
Thank you very much for clearing that up. We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. It will be sent to consent agenda. Thank you, Ms. Jackson, for being here today. And thank you all of our supporters and agencies that are here today in support of this. Item D is the ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to authorize the appropriation of $60,000 from the general fund for the purpose of providing matching funds for a grant to update the MATS MPO 2050 transportation plan. This is an item that was asked by Commissioner Valerie Wynn, so we'll entertain a motion for approval at this time. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner, who's that? Bryant? Speak louder. Mr. Bryant. I've heard your jail voice. I know you can speak loud, so got second by Commissioner Bryant and Commissioner Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Do you have a follow-up, sir? Okay, we'll have you concluded as a co-sponsor. So we have a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Next item is installation of a memorial plaque. We have a very special memorial plaque that will not be going to Amerson, but will go to the boat ramp. I want to make sure we clarify that. This is an ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to approve the installation of signage in memory of Billy Scott Carter, to authorize a supplemental appropriation amount up to $1,000 for general fund balance to the Parks and Beautification budget for purchases of materials and memorial signage, and that's where it will be placed at. Mr. Carter gave his life saving young girls after a drowning, and he was drowned. Family wanted to do this in his honor, and certainly we're willing to do that as well and play our small part in that. So I would ask that all commissioners support this and sign on as co-sponsors on this, if you may. So at this time, we entertain a motion for approval. Can I get a second? Second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. That motion passes unanimously. We'll reaffirm that tonight at our 6 o'clock meeting, and then we'll ask our public communications to communicate with all those affected once we are able to install that signage there. And we appreciate any family and friends from being here tonight so we could recognize them respectfully. So thank you very much for passing that unanimously and for the co-sponsors. We have 2 public safety items tonight. Both of those involve some appropriating some funds. The first is the ordinance of Macon-Bibb County Commission to authorize the appropriations of $345,000 from sponsor programs, which is the school zone camera funds, to be allocated to the Bibb County School District for purposes of funding a truancy officer for a 3-year period of time. This is something I certainly think that we need in our community. If we can't get kids in their seats, we can't get them educated. And if we can't get them educated, then of course we can't have an educated workforce. And a lot of things happen that we don't like to happen as far as our Macon Violence Prevention Program when teens are left unattended and roaming the streets during the time they're supposed to be at school. So this affects all of us individually and as a group, and it's something I certainly support, and I think it's a great use of these funds. So I appreciate Dr. Sims being here tonight. Mr. Darrell Morton are both here tonight. And I just ask that everybody to support this. This is a 3-year commitment. That gives plenty of opportunity if they decide that they're going to accept this funds. It still will need to go through whatever process the school system has to accept this position and those funds, and it's only going to be exclusively used for that service. And hopefully it works out. We can continue to support that. So at this time, I'd entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark, second by Commissioner Bryant. Any questions or concerns? Hearing no questions or concerns, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Be sent to the consent agenda where we'll ratify that tonight. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for being here tonight. And certainly we want to do our part to help the school system anytime we get a chance to do so. Our second public safety item is the ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to authorize the appropriation of up to $109,138.58 from sponsor programs, school zone camera funds, to be allocated to Windsor Academy. Mr. Jimmy Watson is here tonight. Appreciate you, sir. Raise your hand there. He's the headmaster there at Windsor, and we requested for him a proposal for some improvements, some safety there, what these funds would be utilized for, and they have some camera systems, and they've already sent us the invoices for those so we can create a purchase order if you chose to support that tonight. Commissioner Bryant, did you have a question, ma'am?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Can I ask him a question?
Okay, we'll have Commissioner Raymond Wilder and Commissioner Bill Howell will be co-sponsors of that. If you'll ask the question, and if it's something he can address, I'll have him come forward.
Okay. Are they participating in the school zone cameras? Are they abiding
Yes,
by
ma'am.
the-
That's the only reason they're
Okay.
getting these funds, because they participate.
And so these are, I'm just asking for other people that may not know, these are the school zone cameras and not their own security cameras?
These are school zone cameras that generate the funds, and these funds are being used for the public safety purpose that they have requested. Yes, they do participate, and they are a partner with Macon-Bibb County School System, as well as others like ACE Charter Academy and in Windsor as well. So they participate in the program. They have the cameras in front of their schools as well, and this is the public safety money that we're using for these cameras. Thank you. Okay. We have a motion and second. We need a motion and second. I'll have Commissioner Bill Howell, and I believe that's his district, and Mr. Raymond Wilder will be sponsors and co-sponsors on that. Either you gentlemen like to add anything in addition to that? Commissioner Howell?
Yeah, I'd just like to add that
Only $100? Okay.
at that location.
Well, we appreciate you, sir. And Mayor Pro Tem Clark, do you have something to add, sir?
I'd just like to be added as a sponsor to the two public safety measures, the camera measures.
Yes, sir, we'll do that. We do have a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda as well. Item 12 is not a funding or appropriation, but support for passenger rail. As many of you recall, this is a process that's been long-standing. Finally, some money has been appropriated, but not sufficient amount of money, so they're trying to get more support. First of all, this is a support resolution, support by this commission and by the mayor, and it's also co-sponsored in conjunction with Commissioner Stewart and Mayor Pro Tem Clark and Commissioner Hewitt as well. This is not appropriating any funds to do that, so we want to let you know that up front. But this is a support resolution. This is the resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission expressing support for development of an Atlanta-Macon-Savannah passenger rail line and requesting the mayor to designate a representative of Macon-Bibb County government to participate in evaluation discussions with the Georgia Department of Transportation for the purpose of advocating for the selection of a Macon route and facilitating communications with local stakeholders. So at this time, before we have any discussion, I'll request a motion to approve. And can I get a second? Commissioner Bailey, Commissioner Stewart, and now we'll have time for conversations. And Commissioner Stewart, with you, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I just want to say thank you to you and to Mayor Pro Tem Clark and to the commissioners who signed on to this, because it's something I truly believe in. I'll be in Atlanta tomorrow with former Mayor Ellis and former Mayor Rickard, trying to piece together the pieces, if you will, between Atlanta. We get Atlanta on board, of course. This resolution, of course, is trying to get Macon on board, and then Savannah. But you have cities in between. And so it's those cities in between we got to really work on to make sure that we have a complete piece of the puzzle, so to speak. But this is an evolution into the 21st century for Macon, Georgia, USA. And if we're trying to build a world-class city, this connects us to the world. So I hope the citizens stay front and center in this conversation. Come and make sure that you have your thoughts and your ideas to the commission and to the administration. But it's something that Macon, Georgia really needs to get behind, and I appreciate this resolution tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We do have a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, we're to the point of our agenda now where we're reached item 13, which is executive session. At this time, I'm going to entertain a motion to go into executive session for consultation with the county attorney or other legal counsel to discuss pending or potential litigation, settlement claims, more importantly, the purchase of real estate, and all other things allowed by law. So we need a motion to approve. Go into executive session? Okay, motion from Mayor Pro Tem Clark, second by Commissioner Howell. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. We're now in executive session. We do have two items possibly coming out of executive session that will necessitate a vote. We'll probably be in executive session probably 20 minutes. Thank you. I get a motion to come out of executive session? I get a second? We have a motion and a second to come out of executive session. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, nay. We are now out of executive session. As previously advertised, we have 2 real estate properties to complete and take an open vote on. I'll begin with item 14A. Item 14A is the ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to sign such documents that are necessary to purchase certain parcels, real estate totaling 1.15 acres, more or less, at a cost not to exceed $600,000, including reasonable closing costs and appropriate such funds, the 2018 SPLOST, recreation, and others. This is property we have previously shown you. There's a picture of it right there on your lot. The CXX and Norfolk Southern properties there, along with the batting cages, used to be there directly across from Daybreak and next to Carolyn Creighton Park. So this is the motion. That's the amount of money that we're looking at, and those are the funds that we'll be using. So at this time, I entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Commissioner Bailey. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Bryant. We have a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item B is the ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing commission and the mayor to sign such documents as necessary to purchase certain parcels of real estate property of 10.1 acres, more or less, at a cost not to exceed $2.3 million, including reasonable closing costs, and appropriate $1.8 million from the 2018 SPLOST recreation line items. As you look at those 2 numbers, you see there's a difference there. We'll receive $250,000 from Newtown Macon and another $250,000 from Urban Development Authority to complete this purchase, as we have 2 additional partners in this property. This property that you see on your screen will allow us to connect from the boat ramp there at Amerson River Park to the 200 acres that we own next to that, and also the property next to it that we bought just a couple of months ago. Otherwise, our 200 acres cannot be used or accessed. So this allows us to do that. It has a lot of river frontage there. More importantly, this also is our us being advocates for the national park that we fully intend happening here in Macon-Bibb County, to link a national park there at Old Muggy from that area through all of downtown Macon to Amerson River Park, all the way out to Arkwright Road, and probably at some point up to River North. So this is the property that we're purchasing there. This is what we call a bargain sale. We received an appraisal on this property of $2.7 million, although the purchase price is $2.1 million. The Neal family who owns this property is gifting the rest of that through our process there. The tax assessor may show a different figure, and that's the reason I'm telling you that. That's why it's a bargain sale, but we do have an appraisal up for that amount, so this is a bargain sale. We appreciate the family for negotiating with us in good faith and working on this to get this completed. We will begin to work on a primitive connection to the trail over the next several months, probably beginning after the first of the year, but eventually be able to make that area connectability all the way from the National Park to Arkwright Road and branches out into other areas of Pleasant Hill and Rose Hill Cemetery. So at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve this purchase of real estate. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Howell. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Be sent to the consent agenda. This meeting is hereby adjourned, and we'll convene again at 6 o'clock for our regular commission meeting. Thank you. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Macon-Bibb County Commission meeting. This is our regularly scheduled meeting today. Today is Tuesday, July the 15th, and the time is just a few minutes after 6 o'clock. I'd like to welcome everyone here today and officially call this meeting to order. We'll begin our meeting like we always do, with a call to the order, followed by the prayer, and then the Pledge of Allegiance. So those of you that can and will, please stand up in recognition of our prayer, which is performed tonight by Mr. Brent Cook with Ahava Ministries, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance.
I'll be praying out of Psalm 5, a prayer for guidance. Give ear to my words, O Lord, consider my meditation. Give heed to the voice of my cry, my King and my God, for to you I will pray. My voice you shall hear in the morning, O Lord. In the morning I will direct it to you, and I will look up, for you are not a God who takes pleasure in wickedness, nor shall evil dwell with you. The boastful shall not stand in your sight. You hate all workers of iniquity. You shall destroy those who speak falsehood. The Lord abhors the bloodthirsty and deceitful man. But as for me, I will come into your house in the multitude of your mercy. In fear of you, I will worship toward your holy temple. Lead me, O Lord, in your righteousness because of my enemies. Make your way straight before my face. But let all those rejoice who put their trust in you. Let them ever shout for joy because you defend them. Let those also who love your name be joyful in you. For you, O Lord, will bless the righteous. With favor you will surround him as with a shield. Thank you, Lord, for your protection over this commission, a co-mission with you. Break our heart for what breaks yours. May the city of Macon-Bibb be a city on a hill, a burning fire of your love. We love you, Lord. Have your way. May your kingdom come, your will be done in Macon as it is in heaven. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. We've already handled the presentations in the previous meeting today earlier, so we'll move on to the public comments on agenda items. We have one comment listed on agenda items, Ms. Aisha Allen. Ms. Allen, if you don't mind coming up there, and she would like to discuss item 14B, real property.
I got a posse coming with me.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
As stated, I'm Aisha Ellen, and I'm here to discuss agenda item 14B, real property, particularly the section worded and to appropriate $1.8 million from 2018 SPLOST Recreation, other line item. As many on the Horseshoe know, or for those who may not know, I am the Executive Director of Keep Macon-Bibb Beautiful. For almost 3 years, we have worked closely with Parks and Recreation, Parks and Beautification, Grow Macon, Inc., who's standing behind me, and the Fort Hill East Macon Neighborhood Watch Association, and the Ladies of Reset Ministry at the Fort Hill Community Park, also known as Eastview Park, located at 1103 Eastview Avenue. Through our collaborative efforts, more than $300,000 has been invested in the beautification and outreach initiatives at the park. Approximately $70,000 of those funds came through Grow Macon, Inc., through their MVP funds, and $75,000 plus from various grants obtained through Keep Macon-Bibb Beautiful. We also want to thank this commission for the approval of $150,000 to upgrade the playground equipment at the park, which I am happy to announce the old equipment was demolished today. The new equipment has been delivered and will be installed soon. However, despite all of our hard work and efforts, I come before you with an ask. The major Willie Ballou Fort Hill Community Center sits on the grounds of the park. This center, which is owned by Macon-Bibb County, is in need of repair. This community center, which is named after a Macon Police Department major whose life ended abruptly as a result of a motorcycle accident, was once a welcoming environment for community events, meetings, and celebrations. Now it sits unkept and at risk of becoming a blighted property. I stand before you this evening to request that a portion of the $1.8 million of appropriations from the 2018 SPLOST for recreation, as mentioned in Agenda Item 14B, go towards repairs and upgrades of the major Willie Ballou Center. Additionally, based on the success of the Booker T. Washington Center that's managed by an outside entity, I suggest that the commission consider Grow Macon Inc. to manage the Willie Ballou Center once the necessary repairs have been completed. Charm Myers is a native of that community. She lives in that community. Her family lives in that community. These children that stand behind us live in that community, and they know her. If they don't know her, they know her mama or her daddy. And she does not mind putting her foot on a neck if need be. That's the kind of community building that we need, and that's the kind of community building that the MVP program has proven to be successful. Through the MVP initiative, Grow Macon Inc. is proof of that success. We need to continue to build the Fort Hill community. Let's continue the good works. When I stood before this commission in 2022, when I accepted the role as Executive Director of Keep Macon-Bibb Beautiful, I said then, as I say now, keep Macon-Bibb beautiful. We are doing more than picking up litter. We're picking up an entire community. And so we please ask that this commission please consider investing funds in the repairs and upkeep of the Willie Ballou Center on Eastview Avenue in Fort Hill. Let's continue the good works. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ellen. Thank you for being here, and thank you for bringing your posse with you. Good to see you again. We appreciate you being here tonight. We're going to move on to approval of the minutes. This is item 6A, on June the 17th, 2025, regular meeting minutes. Can I get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Bailey, second by Commissioner Stewart. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We're going to move on to consent agenda. As you recall, our meeting started at 4:30 today for pre-commission, and we had numerous items on there that all passed. Those are items A through what we call BB. So A through BB. At this time, we entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda that we had earlier today and it's been published, including the two real properties at the end. I get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Waters, second by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We're going to move on to public comments on non-agenda items. We do have several of those on here for tonight.